who are at the Bomas were not able to access. But obviously, some of the big questions that have been asked at this time has been, will IEBC complete this process on time? It does look like they will. Who will they declare the winner? Well, we're still waiting.
We're still waiting. And also, you know, for the fact of clearing this up for a lot of our viewers, because Bomas of Kenya has been the host of a lot of political posturing, if you will, where we see a lot of the political agents oftentimes being blamed by the IEBC commissioners for delaying the process. And you know, when you look at this to our two guests, in terms of people leaving the amphitheater, some coming back in, phone calls flying here and there, what impact does it have on the process? At the end of the day, you know, the Supreme Court said it's not an event, it's a process, one that started at the polling stations on August 9th. And according to that bekyaaye ruling, that is where the presidential race was won or lost. So when we see these displays, you know, what does it mean? Does it have any impact, any bearing whatsoever on that process? I'll start with you, Bobby.
In terms of the technical process, not so much, because we know, and Kenyans have been watching the process of you know, tallying, verifying. Up to this stage, and some of them also have been doing their own independent tallying, because as you indicated, the 34A forms are available on IEBC's website. So that aspect of it is so that there is transparency in the process, but also everyone can eventually verify what Chebukati announces, and as against what is in the forms. So, in terms of that technical aspect, in terms of the program and the timing that the chairperson has indicated, I think that this does not have any great impact. We must remember also this ceremonial arrangement is very much again for the optics of accountability, of transparency, of inclusion, but it could be the case because it's not a direct or categorical constitutional requirement that we must have this kind of ceremony where we even invite the diplomatic corps to come and witness this. I think it's more in the cause of considering this to be a major national and state event that the IEBC does make it, you know, and declare in this very, very regaliad, if I may use that term, kind of event. Definitely, I think it has an impact, as I said, in terms of the optics and what those communicate out there to the Kenyans who are following this particularly, but also to the rest of the world, because they have been following this, they have been watching the events at IEBC, at Bomas of Kenya. And now we are seeing the choirs are back early in the morning. It was very much a celebratory mood with everyone in the auditorium, you know, getting up and dancing and getting down, as we say, to the music that the different choirs and musicians were tuning out. So this I think has more impact in terms of what it communicates.
Okay, gentlemen, if you could just look at the screens right now, look at live pictures of quite a few people literally walking out. There are quite a few people walking out, even as the religious...
But I'm not sure where... That was the Kenya Kwanza presidential candidate, UDA presidential candidate, William Ruto. I'm not sure where he's heading to, because what we're seeing on the auditorium is build-up in terms of arrival of different delegations here to the dais there. We've seen interreligious council members, Jeff.
Right.
They've filled up some of those seats now at the stage. Archbishop Jackson Olesapit of the Anglican Church, Archbishop Martin Kivuva, the chair of the Kenya Conference of Catholic Bishops, Bishop Emeritus David Oginde, who's the chair of the, I think, Evangelicals Association of Kenya, and others. We're now seeing also presidential candidates also arriving. So I suspect Deputy President William Ruto, who's the Kenya Kwanza candidate, is being routed to probably be somewhere behind the scenes here, as it seems that we are now closer than ever before to that announcement, Jeff, that Kenyans and the region and the continent and maybe the world have been waiting for since 3 p.m.
Inaonekana kuna shughuli hapo ni kana kwamba lile tangazo ambalo tumekuwa tukilingoja litafanyika muda wowote kutoka sasa, lakini unajua wanahabari huwa tuna tabia ya kusema muda wote kutoka sasa alafu tutaendelea kusema muda wote kutoka sasa hadi saa moja. Kwa hivyo ni kuwa tuna subra tuweze kuona kile ambacho kitaendelea. Namuona huyo ni mgombeaji wa chama cha Agano, David Mwaure, akiwa pia anaingia hapo kwenye eneo hilo la Bomas ambapo viongozi hao wa dini tayari wamekaa kwenye viti wakingojea tu tangazo hilo kutoka kwa Wafula Chebukati.
And I think everyone will be keenly following Jeff, the announcement that Wafula Chebukati makes, whether it aligns with Article 138 of the Constitution. The requirement to avoid a runoff would be to have a candidate who receives 50% plus one votes across the country and at least 25% of the votes cast in each of more than half of the counties. And there's been a lot of speculation that could this be the first runoff the country will see. Well, the man and the team that know could be stepping up onto the screen there.
Any moment from now.
Any moment from now, Jeff.
Literally any moment. There's becoming a bevy of activity over there. Well, you said you tried to get into that space a while ago.
We used everything we could. Our way there. The security team has been enhanced almost 3 times this week. There was a lean team on Tuesday into Wednesday. From Thursday it was escalated. Even getting into the gate was a problem, even with the right documents. And yesterday you had to fight to make your win, especially with the incidents. I know you guys saw, and we were in studio with some of you. Laptops, and all, commotion over different issues. And so the security team here has had to keep changing their protocols as they assess the situation on the ground.
No, absolutely. And of course, that amphitheater floor has been cleared of those tables that initially were set up to verify the Form 34B coming in from the returning officers, 290 of them, but now all collated into the Form 34C that will eventually become Form 34D. That is a certificate that will be handed over to the winner, announced by IEBC Chair Wafula Chebukati. That is the man, that's the face that we want to see come through that space right there and make that all-important announcement. Kenyans have been waiting patiently since last Tuesday when they went to the polls. But of course, with all this activity, familiar faces in the political scene making their way in and out of that amphitheater, and of course raising a lot of questions as to what could they be discussing, what could be leading to this delay with very important individuals already in the room, having waited for hours before this point. So it doesn't help in terms of this vacuum of information. It can be filled with a lot of misinformation.
That's correct. It's been hard to really, trust what you see on social media this past week, Jeff.
And also the optics coming out of the screens. You can see the optics. What does this tell your average viewer? What's going on at Bomas, folks? I'm sure that's what they're asking. Around the country and around the world, what's going on at Bomas? You see that security at that place, it's being enhanced literally by the minute. And people are wondering, what's going on? When's Chebukati going to come out? What's he going to say? It's all a question of when, if.
The 7 most important people right now are the IBC commissioners. We haven't spotted either of them.
Any of them.
Up until now. And I'm wondering who that security team there is clearing that corridor for. We've only seen one presidential candidate make their way out from there after they'd left, after they'd all stepped out. We're waiting to see whether George Odakoya will come back in. And of course, the Kenya Kwanza presidential candidate, William Ruto. But the commissioners are the men and women of the moment. And we are waiting for them to emerge and hopefully emerge before 6 p.m. as per the promise that they made. What a week, what an election. It's been Titus and Mkangu here, even as we've continued to follow what's happening.
Naam, Wahika, na leo nadhani ni siku muhimu kwa sababu iwapo tangazo hili litafanyika leo, basi inawapa wale ambao hawajaridhishwa siku saba za kwenda mahakamani kupinga matokeo. Kwa hivyo iwapo tangazo hili litafanyika leo, wale ambao wanapinga matokeo wana hadi Jumatatu ijayo kwenda kuwasilisha kesi mahakamani. Iwapo haitafanyika leo, itafanyika kesho, basi wana hadi Jumanne.
Okay, so this is now live from the Serena Hotel. Juliana Cherera, Justus Nyang'aya, these are IBC commissioners, Francis Wanderi, Irene Masit, 4 of the 7 IBC commissioners, not at the Bomas of Kenya, but at the Serena Hotel, and they're about to issue a statement. We're not sure why they're not at Bomas. It was assumed they'd all be